Across the United States, families are feeling the squeeze more than ever before. From bustling cities to quiet rural towns, the pressure is mounting, and it's not just a matter of numbers on a page, it's a daily reality that's reshaping lives. As paychecks don't stretch as far as they used to, every trip to the store or glance at a bank statement brings new worries. People are forced to make difficult decisions about what to buy, what to put back, and how to make ends meet. The cost of basics, groceries, gas, housing, has soared, forcing tough choices and cutbacks. Many are moving to smaller homes, taking on extra jobs, or cutting out things they once considered necessities, just to keep up. For many, financial security feels out of reach, fueling frustration and anxiety. The uncertainty about the future is a constant companion, making it hard to plan ahead or feel confident about what's next. Parents worry about affording essentials, like groceries, school supplies, and even rent. They wonder how to provide stability for their children in a world that feels increasingly unstable. Young adults struggle to save, often juggling multiple jobs or side gigs, and putting off milestones like buying a home or starting a family. The dream of financial independence seems to slip further away, and seniors watch their budgets shrink, worried about whether their savings will last, and if they'll be able to afford healthcare or even basic comforts in retirement. This isn't just about numbers, it's about the sense that the American dream is slipping away. The promise that hard work leads to a better life feels more distant, leaving many to question what the future holds. People work hard, sometimes holding down 2 or 3 jobs, yet feel like they're falling behind, leading to a sense of unfairness and resentment. The gap between effort and reward has never felt wider. The emotional toll is real, shaping how people view their lives and their leaders. Stress, frustration, and even anger are becoming part of the national mood, affecting relationships and communities. Filling up a gas tank or paying a bill has become a measure of government success or failure. Every price increase feels personal, and every bill paid is a reminder of the challenges people face. This widespread discontent is creating a restless, impatient electorate. People are demanding more from their leaders, and they're not willing to wait for change. Americans aren't just seeking explanations. They want real solutions and relief. They want to see action, not just promises, and they're holding those in power accountable. The question on everyone's mind, who's responsible and who can fix it? People are looking for leaders who understand their struggles and can offer hope for a better tomorrow. As economic anxiety grows, it's become a defining force in American life, shaping not just the economy, but the very fabric of society and the choices people make every day. Vice President J.D. Vance recently addressed the nation's growing economic frustration head-on, speaking candidly about the challenges facing everyday Americans. He acknowledged that voters across the country are feeling impatient and overwhelmed, struggling to keep up with rising costs of living, from groceries to rent and utilities. Vance emphasized that the administration not only recognizes this impatience, but also shares the sense of urgency to deliver real, tangible results as quickly as possible. His message was clear and direct. We hear you, and we're working as hard as we can to address your concerns and make a difference in your daily lives. This approach is designed to build trust by validating the real struggles people are facing, and by showing that leaders are not out of touch with the public's reality. Vance's comments highlight the ongoing challenge of managing expectations. Voters are looking for immediate relief, not promises of future change that may take years to materialize. He stressed that economic statistics and positive forecasts mean little to those who are struggling right now to pay rent, buy groceries, or cover basic expenses for their families. By showing empathy and taking time to listen to personal stories, Vance hopes to assure Americans that their struggles are not being ignored, but are a top priority for the administration. Ultimately, he's working to control the narrative, reassure voters that solutions are in progress, and demonstrate that government leaders are actively seeking ways to ease the burden. This sets the stage for a larger national debate: who is truly responsible for the current situation, and which leaders have the best plan to bring real relief to American families. When prices soar, Americans want to know who's to blame. The Trump administration blames the previous Democratic leadership, arguing they inherited a crisis caused by Biden-era policies and spending. They claim massive government spending led to today's inflation, and they're left to clean up the mess. Democrats counter that blaming predecessors is a deflection, pointing to global issues and Trump's own policies as factors. The result: a partisan blame game, with voters caught in the middle. Each side offers a different story, leaving Americans to decide who to believe. For most, the finger-pointing only adds to the confusion and frustration. The Trump administration frames the economy as a rescue mission, claiming they inherited historic inflation. President Trump and Vice President Vance argue it's unrealistic to expect quick fixes for deep-rooted problems. Their message reversing years of damage takes time and strategic effort. This narrative aims to deflect blame and redirect voter anger toward Democrats. Critics argue that after nearly a year in office, the administration now owns the economy's state. They point to recent decisions as evidence the problem persists or worsens. The debate: when does an inherited problem become the current administration's responsibility? For voters, the answer could decide the next election. President Trump and Vice President Vance have gone on the offensive, calling criticism of their economic record a fake narrative. They argue that Democrats are using affordability concerns as a political weapon. Vance calls the idea that the Trump administration is to blame totally bogus. This aggressive pushback is meant to rally supporters and cast doubt on critics. The administration frames the debate as a battle over truth, not just policy. But this approach risks alienating struggling voters who want solutions, not political fights. For some, dismissing real concerns as fake feels out of touch. The strategy deepens divisions and turns economic hardship into a test of loyalty. The question remains: will this message resonate beyond the base? Polls reveal a stark reality. Most Americans disapprove of the administration's handling of the economy. A recent Fox News poll shows President Trump with a 61% disapproval rating on economic issues. Only 38% approve, signaling widespread dissatisfaction nearly a year into his term. Despite blaming predecessors, many voters hold the current president responsible for their financial struggles. This disconnect between the White House's message and public perception is a major political problem. High disapproval ratings threaten the administration's agenda and Republican prospects in the 2026 midterms. Historically, economic approval predicts midterm outcomes. If frustration persists, Republicans risk losing support. The challenge: change the economic reality, or at least the public's perception, before the next election. Otherwise, voter anger could translate into major losses at the polls. The administration's central message is now a plea for patience. Vice President Vance argues that fixing the economy is complex and can't happen overnight. They claim the right policies are in place, but results take time to show. Major economic shifts, like lowering inflation, require months or years, not weeks. The administration points to early signs of progress, urging Americans to trust the process. But for families struggling now, promises of future relief offer little comfort. The opposition calls this an excuse for lack of results. The administration's success depends on whether voters believe in their long-term vision. If people don't see improvement soon, patience will run out. The clock is ticking as the next election approaches. Fixing high inflation is a complicated puzzle. There's no single solution or magic bullet. Every option comes with trade-offs, and the stakes are high for families, businesses, and the entire country. Economists often disagree on the best path forward. Some advocate for raising interest rates to slow down spending and bring prices under control, but this approach can also risk tipping the economy into a recession, leading to job losses and financial hardship for many. Others argue that the real solution lies in boosting supply, helping businesses produce more goods and services to meet demand. However, expanding production isn't easy or quick. It requires investment, time, and overcoming challenges like labor shortages and supply chain disruptions. Meanwhile, global events, wars, droughts, and pandemics can send shockwaves through the economy, driving up prices for food, energy, and everyday essentials. These forces are often beyond the control of any president or government. The U.S. economy is deeply intertwined with the rest of the world. International trade, supply chains, and financial markets mean that what happens overseas can quickly impact American wallets, making quick fixes nearly impossible. The Trump administration pursues one strategy, focusing on certain policies and priorities, while critics and opponents argue for different approaches, each claiming theirs is the right answer. Every approach carries its own risks and uncertainties. There are no guarantees that any single policy will work as intended, and unintended consequences are always a possibility. This complexity helps explain why economic problems can persist for years, even when governments are actively trying to intervene and fix them. Solutions are rarely simple or immediate. For voters, it's important to recognize that promises of quick fixes are often unrealistic. Economic challenges require patience, careful planning, and sometimes difficult choices. The road to economic stability is long, winding, and filled with uncertainty. Progress can be slow, and setbacks are common along the way. While political leaders debate policies and strategies, it's everyday Americans who feel the impact of these decisions, at the grocery store, at work, and at home. The real challenge is finding lasting solutions in a world full of uncertainty and global turmoil, solutions that truly help people weather the storm and build a more stable future. The economic debate is shaping the crucial 2026 midterm elections. Voters will soon decide who controls Congress and the fate of President Trump's agenda. If Republicans keep control, Trump's policies move forward. If not, gridlock looms. The economy is the top issue, making the midterms a referendum on Trump's performance. As Vance said, we'll find out in about a year. If Americans feel better off, Republicans may be rewarded. If not, Democrats could gain power. The administration must convince a skeptical public their plan is working. Voters will judge rhetoric against their own experiences at the store and gas pump. The outcome will shape public policy and the nation's direction for years. Ultimately, the real test is whether Americans believe their leaders can deliver economic relief.